So, hello and welcome to our live stream today. Now there's a little changing. So, hello. Today we've got the pleasure to have Sam Johnson here with his colleague Paul Kling. Oh, now I have to pronounce it right. Schwingenschlögl, sorry. And that was the first piece we heard. Today is a special day. We have okay. On motions. All right. Today we have got a special event. We've got a vernissage, a super opening of the exposition that is called Chaos and Style from Sam Johnson here. And at the same time, we got a concert and we got a talk. So, and Sam, maybe you sit down, take your microphone so we can start. Jetzt nochmal was für unsere deutschen Zuschauerinnen und Zuschauer. Wir haben uns entschieden, heute den Livestream in Englisch zu führen, da Sam Muttersprachler ist und nicht so gut Deutsch spricht, was aber kein Problem sein soll. Wenn ihr trotzdem Fragen stellen wollt und aber nicht des Englischen so mächtig seid, könnt ihr die gerne auf Deutsch stellen. Ich werde sie dann übersetzen und auch die Antwort natürlich auf Deutsch euch dann geben. Ansonsten ist es wie immer, wir freuen uns hier auf 2 Stunden intensives Diskutieren und Sprechen. Andersrum. The other way around. Wenn wir die ganzen technischen Probleme gelöst haben, when we fixed all the technical problems. No. Other way around. Over the years. Yes. Like that. Yeah. Like that. Okay. Ich bitte eventuelle technische Störungen zu verzeihen. Wir geben wie immer unser Bestes und hoffen, dass es alles klappt. Falls bei euch doch irgendwas nicht richtig ankommt, irgendwelche Störungen sind, dann lasst uns das bitte wissen im Chat oder per Mail, sowie auch die Fragen per Chat oder per Mail. Ihr könnt ja auch dann stellen. Gut, jetzt schauen wir mal, ob der Ton ankommt.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's on. It's on, Sam.
It's on? Oh, okay.
Okay, it's on. So today.
Oh, so you stay there?
Yeah, I stay there.
So.
Yeah, I have to do things. Okay. So again, if there are technical problems, please give us a hint in the chat or per mail. And hello, Sam.
Oh, I'm doing good.
You're
we
doing
did
good.
a lot of work in the last days.
Yeah,
you know?
we did a lot of work.
Yeah, I have to thank you guys for having us, me, and also for you and Ralph and Joachim for all of the great work you did, with the new lights and all that stuff. And
yeah, we are so pleased to have you here. You're multi-talent, I think. When we met, it was first the question, okay, what is he? Is he a painter? Is he a musician? We heard that you're a musician, a famous one or a successful one. And then we came to your studio and we saw a lot of paintings. And there's a big studio. I don't know if you haven't been there, just go there.
yeah. Some people call it the cathedral,
The cathedral.
It's pretty big,
Yeah.
And
it looks like a cathedral. And we were there. Sam told us a lot about his life. But at first I have to check. Jorgs? Ich glaube, das Kabel wird manchmal lose. Guck mal, dass das richtig drin steckt. Manchmal haben wir kein Bild. Okay, now technical problems. Jorgs is on the cam. And he shows us already the paintings you did, paintings. And these are big paintings, a lot of paintings. How many did you paint in the last month?
I wanted to actually, my goal was to paint 6, which I did, and I was going to fix 2, right? But then it came to the point, we got our second vaccination, me and my wife, and so I didn't get sick, but I didn't have any. I was like exhausted, So then I ended up doing six new ones. And I always, when I paint, if I have a show, I always try to show new work. Right?
Yeah.
You know, and so I was literally painting till Sunday, fixing that one there, and then I did a big. Some of the stuff was still wet, so I was using fans and stuff, running them all night long, and then wrapped it on all night Monday night, and then the truck came and picked it up on Tuesday, and then as you know, we've been here ever since. You know.
Yeah.
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 And so but I had what I did before we had the shot is I did 6 layouts for because it's a whole process of what I do. It's like sculpting and forming the pieces before I paint them.
Yeah.
And then when I get into painting, I have a pretty fixed idea of what I want to do.
Okay.
And that doesn't always work out.
Yes. Okay. I think later we can talk about a little bit about your technique and stuff. First, maybe you present yourself a little bit. Who are you, Sam? Where do you come from? What did you do in your life? Why are you here?
The thing is, I was raised in a neighborhood where a lot of musicians came out of, right? And I mean, famous ones, guys from Earth, Wind, and Fire. And
what neighborhood was that?
It's a soul group from the 60s and 70s. But a lot of famous musicians came out of my neighborhood, blues and soul, that kind of stuff. And then I got interested in playing music at a very young age, drums. And then I was playing with a lot of groups, and then I wanted to tour and record and stuff like that. And so I was a touring drummer for different groups and stuff and I played on recording sessions.
Okay, slow down a little bit. Oh. Where do you come from?
I come from Los Angeles, California.
Los Angeles, California. Yeah. Okay, and your parents live there still? Or?
Yeah, no, my parents are both dead. My parents, actually, I was born in near San Francisco, a place called Stockton, California. And at 2 weeks old, they moved to LA. So I grew up in Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's my roots, I would say. But my family is all over America. You know, everybody's everywhere.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I just hear we get a little noise at your microphone. I will just check it. So give me a minute. Yeah. Okay, if it's doing that sound again, I will maybe change the batteries. We'll see.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay.
Now you sound much better.
Okay.
So you grew up in LA. I don't know LA. I've never been there. What is it like? What was it like when you grew up there?
LA is like every big city, and primarily I grew up in a black neighborhood, and then I went to school, which was mostly blacks and Mexicans and other races too, but predominantly black and Mexicans and other races. And then LA's every part of the city is different, right? You got the black neighborhood and they have their culture, and you have the Mexicans, and there's also Japanese and Chinese, and of course you have the white neighborhoods too, And so it's quite an interesting city. In the 60s, it was a very interesting place to live.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you said you got to play the drums. You came to play the drums. However, I don't know. How did that start? I mean, we talked before. I had this classical education on piano.
Yeah. What happened is, in my neighborhood, there was a lot of musicians.
Yes.
I mean, really famous musicians. So all the kids would hang out at the musicians because they would practice in garages there. You know, they take where they supposedly you're supposed to park a car, they would turn it into like a rehearsal place. So if we heard music and we were interested, we would go look in the garage and see the stuff in the thing. And so it was quite common at this time. Soul music was going on. I grew up with Motown and James Brown and all this kind of stuff. And that's the kind of music we grew up with, and blues and stuff. Not so much blues, that came later, but we were more, at my age, we were more interested in soul music, right? Motown was the thing, you know. Four Tops, Temptations, Supremes and all that stuff. The rock stuff came later. And so basically in the neighborhood, if you started playing an instrument, the first thing you did is you made a band, right? You put a band together and you start learning Motown songs or you know, the hits of the day. And then what's really good about LA at this period of time, it doesn't exist anymore, is LA has a lot of community parks, big parks, and they would have on the weekends they would have bands play, usually local bands, and then they would bring in the latest band that had a 45-hit record, right? So all the kids can go, and we would go there, and I saw the Doors with the first record, Light My Fire. They came and played 2 songs and left. I saw bands like the Turtles and stuff like that. So in the neighborhood, they kind of promoted music, right, of live bands playing. So after I got my band together, we were lucky enough to start playing these park dances, right? You know, or at the high school.
Sorry, I have to interrupt you. Just Joax, please film the paintings because we have Sam 2 times now. Okay.
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
You know, so that's kind of the start, how this whole thing starts, and then you know, and then all the high schools and the grammar schools are stuff you can join music classes, and in those days the city provided instruments for the kids if you wanted to play horn or saxophones or violins. At that time they used to give they had a music for the kids, and then you can if you couldn't afford it, they give you a violin or they give you a bass. And it was a really good time, you know. Yeah. Doesn't exist anymore.
No. Okay. And your first instrument was drums.
Yeah. No, actually, what happened was my parents was hanging with some very good friends, and I think they were beatniks. It was a time of things, and we used to go over to my parents' friends. And they had bongos there. They had bongos. And I was fascinated because when I was young, my parents, we used to go to, it's called Cabrillo Beach. And it's a Latin beach. It's all the Latinos and Brazilians. And they had drums, and they would just play drums on the beach. And so I got fascinated by drums there, right? I was already fascinated with normal drum set because a few of my friends played drums. So I would go over their house and play the drums, right? You know, and I had just a natural talent. I could just see something and I just could do it. I don't know why. No lessons on that. I just had that ability. Hear something on the record and I could play it. And so when we went there, over my parents, they had bongos, and I was always fooling around with them. So one Christmas they bought me a pair of bongos, and then and then we were starting in the garage, and a couple guys had acoustic guitars, and we were playing.
What kind of music? Punk music.
No. We were trying to play soul music.
Soul music.
I mean, yeah. I grew up with the Temptations, Four Tops, Motown, and James Brown, right? So really soul. You know.
Okay, and then he grew up, little Sam, and he became a really big, famous musician.
And then, you know,
Sam, just wrap it up with who you played already. Which bands?
Back then?
Yeah, no, in your whole life.
Oh, the list is very long.
Five. Give us 5 bands.
Well, I played with, I used to do recording sessions for Leon Ware, who used to produce Marvin Gaye, right? And I worked, the first session I did with him was for the Miracles. And then I played with the Ray Charles singers, backup singers. I used to do tours with them. Sweet Inspirations, who used to back up Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
I did the Beach Boys.
Okay, I think it's enough.
I did,
we heard enough.
I did really a lot of stuff. I did some sessions for Barry White.
Okay, and you played around the world, everywhere, I think.
I was fortunate enough that music has literally taken me all around the world. I mean, cool. Not everywhere, but a good part of it.
Most of the places. Okay, then enough about you. I think if there are some questions left, please put it in the chat and I will ask him. Now let's talk about your painting. So you are a musician. When did you become an artist?
Well, this is a funny story. My father used to like to do landscape paintings, like farms and plains and stuff like that. And he used to like to paint in oil, right? Mm-hmm. So as a little boy, he made me do that, right? And I had to sit there and do that, and he'd teach me how to do it. And I didn't like it. My sister wanted to do that. And so I would do that, and because I was forced to do it, I didn't like art at all. I didn't like to do this stuff, right? And then what happened was I had a group called Panic, and there's this action painter named Norton Wisdom, right? And he painted abstracts, and we put a group together. I was playing the music, and he painted live to it. And I saw there was another way to paint. So in I guess the late 70s, I started fooling around with painting. But then my career of musician, I started touring a lot like that. And I didn't do it for really a long time. I always wanted to do it. And then I basically didn't start painting till about 21 years ago. And I came over to Berlin. How I came to Berlin is I came over to do a film score thing, and I met my wife, and I ended up staying here. I saw I could make money through music. And I just started, I said, I'm going to put a paint studio together, buy this stuff, and just start painting. My wife comes from a lot of great artists. They do it as a hobby, but they can really draw, and they can really paint landscape stuff like that. And one Christmas, they gave me all this stuff, right? And so I just, and when anything I do, I'm a kind of a freak. I just go mad and go into it and did. So I started it, and then I was painting for about a year and a half, and I did a lot of big oil paintings. And then a friend of mine from Boston came and to visit me. He's also a musician and artist, and he saw my paintings. He says, "Hey man, what are you doing with this stuff?" And I says, "Oh, I just do it for me." And he goes, "I know a gallery, Bob Ruttman. I'm going to bring him over." And so he gave me a show, and then but at that time I was only painting about 2 years or 3 years, and then I know very famous painters, and then so I put a website together, and I showed it to Norton. And Norton was flying to Morocco with a new gallery and his gallery in LA. And he showed him the work. And all of a sudden, I started getting these art shows, right? And I had to start producing more, you know? So that's how my painting career just started, because I just started painting for myself. I wasn't looking for an art career. I just was doing it. And then a bunch of people saw it and liked it. And it just kind of took off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got a question. I think Evelyn Schwarz. These are guitar thing. Tab. Ja, ich kann das beantworten. Sam spielt Gitarre, wird er auch nachher gleich noch machen. And then there's a question. Sam, do you think that music and art is separate or adding each other? Or, yeah.
That's a question.
That's a question.
I tried to keep the music. For me, I try to keep the music and the art separate because I find a lot of artists paint to music, and when I paint to no music because music is such a big distraction for me when I'm doing art. I can't. If I'm working on a piece, all of a sudden I'm listening to, oh, what did that guy play, right? Instead of concentrating on the painting. But I think music and art are kind of combined in a way. You know, they kind of go hand in hand. It's a creative process, you know, and since I've been painting, I can't see myself doing one more than I kind of do both, right? You know.
Yeah. So it belongs together for you. It belongs together for you.
Yeah, I think for me, I keep them separate when I'm creating, right? When I'm just composing, I just only do music or practicing. And when I'm painting, I only do painting. And when I paint, I usually don't paint to music.
Okay.
I paint to no sound. Because for music, it's such a strong thing for me. I get distracted by I start thinking more of the music than I start thinking of what I'm supposed to do on the canvas, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But I know a lot of artists can paint to music.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, some artists I know, they cannot paint without music, right?
In the case of music and art, I've got a question. What can music do what art can't do? And what can art do what music is not able to do? Did you understand?
If you think about music, it's also with notes and sound. It's basically like colors, right?
Yeah.
If you think about if you hit a chord or a melody or a bass line or a drum beat, it's like a color. You can think about it as a color, and then as with art, there's so many different things you can do with art besides painting. You know, you have the sculpture part of it, and they kind of work together in a way.
Yeah, but where are the differences? Why do you? I don't know. You could also do sound installations or whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you can combine it. That's.
Why do you separate it? Where is the advantage of separating these two arts?
For me?
Yes, for you.
Because, I've been a musician my whole life, right? And music is so strong in what I do. And then if I'm, and I'm not, I don't consider myself a painter that long, right? I mean, I'm doing like 21 years or something like that. And I'm still learning and trying to concentrate. So when the music comes in, it's such a big part of my life. I say, "Oh, what did that guy just play?" Or what did this like? And then I'm not into the painting. I'm more into the music, right?
Yeah. Okay.
And that's kind of like for me what happens to me. Now I don't know if that's with anybody else, but I can't listen to music when I'm painting.
Yeah. Okay.
I do sometimes though. If I know I'm going in a certain direction and I need a kick, then I'll put on some like Rammstein or Korn or some industrial stuff where I want to get really aggressive. Because one thing about music, you can set moods. Like if I'm setting up to get ready to create on a bunch of canvases, I might put on some classical music or a certain style of music to put me in the mood to be able to create something or get very aggressive, right? You know?
Okay. Okay, let's get to your paintings and this exposition. We have the title Chaos and Style. So tell us something about chaos and tell us something about style.
Well, this word chaos I've been using, I guess, since the 70s. I always liked this word chaos because there's something about chaos that also brings some kind of order in a way, right? You know,
no, chaos is the opposite of order.
Well, for me it is because I think somehow a lot of things start with chaos, and then they evolve into some kind of order, right?
Maybe, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can look at a perfect idea of chaos is Jackson Pollock. When he came out with that shit, everybody said, what is that? It looks like a madman did it. It looks totally chaotic, right? So I think that in certain kinds of chaos, there is some order. I mean, a perfect thing would be Miles Davis' Bitches Brew, which was totally abstract and avant-garde. There was some order there, right, Paul? Yeah, it was like you heard that stuff, and when you first heard it, after he did Kind of Blue, you said Kind of Blue was very orderly and very melodic and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, he came with this avant-garde thing that was totally wild, but it was orchestrated in a way, right? It had a kind of order to the chaos, right? And the style thing is, I like things that it's like that stand out. That set. How can I put it? Like clothes, everybody has a way of having their style, right? And painting and everything, everybody has a certain kind of style. Of when you look at it, you say, "Hey, that's that guy's." In the ghetto, we always talk about style because everybody wants to look cool. Everybody wants to look cool, right? And when they walk around and they do stuff, you dress a certain way. Oh, he's got style, and so I think that's something that I was always attracted to.
Okay, you said a lot of things now. So first, when I wrap it up, for you, order or chaos is the base of style. It's the fundament. Of order. Sorry, chaos is the fundament of order.
Yeah.
So you
they kind of go in hand in. For me, it kind of goes hand in hand.
Okay.
Yeah. Because sometimes some of the things I do is so chaotic. And out of this chaos, I'm able to find order.
Okay. So you're searching for order.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like if in music or something, I might just start something totally chaotic, doesn't make any sense, and I record it, or I'm painting this stuff, and then there's a breaking point where you say,
yeah,
I see where the order is going to come, right? Because I like this idea of the energy of chaos.
Yeah,
I like the energy of chaos, and chaos doesn't have to be like the normal word of like if there's a bomb goes off and everybody's freaking out and that kind of chaos. I'm talking about chaos in the form of the word regarding to art and music and how things evolve of the process of creating, right?
Okay.
I like that idea. I mean, sometimes it could be order. I start with order and end up in chaos.
Okay.
Which is I've done many times when I used to drink.
we got a nice comment here from Bettina Ullmann. She says chaos has freedom. What do you think about that?
I totally agree with her.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my girl. She's a good friend of me and Yax. She's a very good journalist, by the way.
Okay.
And no, I agree with that. Chaos is freedom.
So order is imprisonment, or how do you call it?
I find that's funny you should say that. I find sometimes that order is too restricting, right? Mm-hmm. I find that I'm not going to mention any names, but I know a lot of musicians and artists that they got too much order, right? Mm-hmm. A perfect example is I saw a website of 50 artists of their atelier, right? And all the artists that had really fine order, I didn't like their art. And all the ones that had a mess and everything, I said, I like that stuff. So, I mean, it's, it was a fine line,
Okay. Wait. So now Yorks is talking.
Anyway, we always say, chaos is the mother of the creativity. So it's the point to give birth to something.
Yeah.
To get to the point to to change something and bring it in order, maybe, but to have a triggering to get to something.
Okay. Jörg, now when you talk, I take this this opportunity. Please sit down, have a seat. I have some questions about painting and sculpture. I mean, I think it's a good moment to talk a little bit about sculpture. And Jörg is a famous sculpture artist who already exposed here some nice works. You can look on our page to find this. How was it called? Bombs and Female Power, was it?
Yes.
The exposition,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
Bombs and Female Power. I've got a question, and maybe you can also say something about if we take sculpture and painting, where are the advantages, where are the disadvantages? I mean, we have both here.
I can tell you.
Yeah, just tell us. Come on.
There is no advantage or disadvantage. It's a point that, you know, one of the things is that he's painting and make music, and I do sculpting and do a totally different way. It's the point why we worked 28 years together. If we would make the same, we would stay in congruence. We don't make the same, we make the difference, and we cultivate the difference. So in the difference, we change things, and everything has its own beauty.
You know, I tell you a funny thing, though. Joachim, sometimes we have to laugh because he said, "Boy, you painters, you're allowed to make mistakes, you know." And the kind of work he does, he has to be really precise, you know.
Yes.
And you know, he's welding and making stuff out of metal, and if you measure it wrong, you're fucked.
Jörg, put your microphone a little bit away from your mouth and nose.
Like this?
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, and so his.
Yeah.
I'm always amazed at Joachim's work because it's.
It's
very thought out.
So we are back at order and chaos. So painting is chaos and free, and sculpture is not chaos and not free. You have to be precise. You have to be.
No,
very
what he meant
concentrated.
is the point that when you start to think about a sculpture, you do make a drawing and you make a sketch or whatsoever. But if you start, especially in scale, then you have to know what you are doing. If he fucked up the painting, he just overpaint the whole thing and do it new. When I made 8 meters big stuff, then and it's fucked up, then I'm fucked up.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have the flexibility. I mean, I've seen how he puts his stuff together, and it's a lot of pre-production work, right? You know, I mean, since I started doing these sculptures on the painting, I had to I think a little bit different because I have to plan it better, right? You know, and every time I do one, I realize, oh, I could have. I'm learning as I go along, right? Learning by doing, you know, because it's a process of doing it, and also. Like if I make a mistake, I'm still able to fix it. You know, I don't have he doesn't have the flexibility that I have.
I mean, the question is always that if something gets wrong, I have a bad, big baggage of work, really huge work to change it again. You know.
Yeah.
A perfect example of this is he's fixing somebody's sculpture because they didn't plan it right. And it's one big mess, you know. You know,
different story.
You can see the problems, you know. I don't think I would ever fool around with that. It's too. I'm a little bit more loose. I like the flexibility of the medium.
But don't you see your paintings also as sculptures?
Yeah. I call them sculpture paintings now because I just kind of came up with this idea, and I'm always thinking, you know, it's not like I'm bending it and fooling around. I'm still working on to improve the technique and stuff like that, and finding better ways to do it and stuff like that. Even more ideas to make better forms and stuff like that. But it's kind of combines a little bit of sculpting, molding, and painting.
But Now let's talk about the process. Is the sculpting process deconnected from the painting process, or how do you do it?
I start with the layout first, right? I mean, I've gotten to the point where I'm thinking about what I'm going to do next and the stuff. And then, like before I painted the 6 new paintings, I did all the layouts first. That took about a week and a half, to get it right, and then the whole process of getting it on the canvas and fooling around with it, and they stayed white for 3 or 4 days, and then I think about how I'm going to paint them, right? But I always start with the layout first, So that's matter of fact, I should send you the picture of how these paintings look, and you can put it on the website before.
Yeah. If you want to.
That's the process, first the layout in the thought, and then the painting comes later.
Okay.
And the painting doesn't always go like I think it's going to go, because they're actually a pain in the ass to paint. And I'm coming up with some newer ideas how I can make the process easier and better. Everybody wants to always improve their art, and I'm always thinking, I can do it like this next time. Because every time I do one of these, I say, oh yeah, I could,
Okay, before we talk about the paint, is there any connection between you? Are you inspired by your work, or do you help him with the sculptural part, or do you help him with the painting part?
Joachim is very helpful. He's been lately helping me stretch him because my legs are all messed up and stuff like that.
So he's working for you.
But we know each other for 27 years, and we did theater stuff together. His stage design should be in museums, basically, and we actually don't even ask each other. We don't even give suggestions, or he might make a suggestion. Well, we can do it like this or that, but we both have our art, and we both support each other, And if I have a problem, I ask him something. If he needs me to do something, I'm doing like that,
When we work together, like he talked about productions for our theater or dance production, then the things start to melt together. When we work single, then each thing is unique. That means he has his handwriting, I have my handwriting, and we kept it over the years, over the decades, that you can see that's Sam and that's me. And when we did make performances, then one other strong part is Yumiko with the choreography. So and also, of course, our performers, which we always put in and which bring stuff, and we use this stuff and see, okay, what we can do with it. It's not to take a dancer or performer to bend him in a way I want to have it. No, he has some character, and I use the material I find and then make it strong. Somebody has a horn, then we pull on this horn till the horn goes through the sky, then it's visible. That's one thing, to work with the power of the people, or with that what you found.
Okay, wait, because first, Ralph, please, the paintings. We have Yorks here on camera already. We don't need 2 times. Again.
He says you got Yorks 2 times. You have to shoot the paintings.
Yeah. No, wait. I think most of the spectators maybe don't really know what you're talking about. Dancing, performance, what is Sam doing now? Okay. No, please give us a little introduction to what are you doing together.
So we had I was with Yumiko in another theater group, right? And then there's this place, Schloss Berlin. And then we met Yox out there. And then Yox had an idea to put a group together. So with Yumiko, the choreographer, Joachim doing the sculpture and stage design, and me doing the music. And we did that, I think we did it for 25 years.
Longer, yeah.
Longer. And we did a lot. It went all over the world, and we did theater plays and stuff like that. And we had not just one dancer. Sometimes we had, I think we were in Italy. We had 60 dancers or something like this, right? And
They was doing something. I was seeing that, and then I asked him. We have a performance somewhere in the sculpture park, and he said, "I have a gig in Berlin," and then I said, I will conquer him. I will take him. I asked him, I give you the fee you get and I make a sound sculpture for you. And he was, what?
Yeah.
And then I made a sound sculpture 7.5 meters big. And he came and started to play and he said, oh, a bit strange, but I like it, the tunes, you know, the tunes. And he played the whole night through, and then we worked on it with different sticks. This was the beginning.
He put tone bars on this this instrument, right?
One kind of a gamelan sound.
It's very gamelan, you know, very gamelan. And I figured out the scale was in very weird spots, but it was, once I figured out where the notes were, it was very easy to come up with really cool patterns and stuff, right?
And another part of the beginning was like we went to class with the other project, and we made a very good project there together, site-specific. And then we had a super party, and I asked him, what do you think we should make a group? And he said to me, so many people asked me to make a group, and nothing come out. And then now we work 28 years together. So
yeah.
Okay.
So, so then we started the group, and then we did a lot of stuff, you know. And then, you know, as everybody knows, 6 years ago, the Senate cut the money for 4,000 groups, something like this, and they gave all the money to the 12 rich theaters in Berlin. Basically, the same stuff as what they do in America, right?
Okay. There's one question just coming in from Bettina Ullmann. Could Sam create sound music to his paintings?
What
sound or music. Can Sam create sound or music to his paintings? Can you?
You mean like play music to my paintings?
Yes.
Yeah, that's...
You could do this.
I could do that, yeah.
Are you interested?
I mean, actually, that's a pretty good question, because I thought that I would get a video camera and just film some of my paintings and then write some music to it, right? But I have so much music written, I mean, it wouldn't be no problem to put some music to a painting.
Okay. So what do you think?
Shall we do another song?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
So we have a little break to prepare everything. No, you can leave it. Leave it. Yeah.
That's okay. That's Paul over there, Paul Schwingenschlögl. Me and Paul been working together since '87.
Okay.
And
So how did you meet?
any more questions come in, or how we doing?
How did you meet Paul? That's my question.
Oh,
that came in.
that's a funny story. So I came in '87 over to do a film score kind of thing, and I was playing. Then I ended up playing with this very famous bass player, Jay Oliver, who passed away, right, in jazz. And then the saxophone player was named Reiner, but we call him Teo. And he had this band called Cole, which is actually, the band was like a funk jazz band, way ahead of its time. And yeah, I mean, the music could be happening now. And Paul was in this band because they had a horn section, right?
Yeah, wait.
Yeah,
wait
yeah.
a moment. Yeah, now you. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. Yeah. So my story, I came also, like Sam said, at the end of 1987 to Berlin, and I knew a great trombone player. He's my very close friend, Jacques Nobili. We played together in Vienna, and he went to Berlin 1 year before. And yeah, when I came to Berlin, we started seeing each other, and he asked me to come with him to a practice of this group Cole that Sam just mentioned. Said, yeah, okay. And then these guys asked me, yeah, you want to play with us? We got a gig at the Quasimodo. Said, yeah, why not? Great, just arrived, and 2 months later, already the first gig. Yeah, and then Theo and also Shaka, all those guys, they knew each other through Jay Oliver, and this scene at the time was not so big as today. And yeah, and that's how we met and played together. First, I remember this group, White Art Orchestra, and then soon also we started to work in a duo, jam a little bit, and this was kind of the beginning.
Yeah, I had a big band in the beginning called the White Art Orchestra, so Paul was in it. And then actually then, you remember that thing we did for the film contest, and we got into, we did a lot of stuff together, right? And then we didn't see each other for a couple of years, remember?
Then kinda we went different
Separate ways.
Yeah, separate ways, because I was then from '96 on quite often in Paris, and then I was a little bit a different scene, improvised music scene with a lot of musicians from East Berlin, from DDR, and then somehow, yeah, we met again and then started working again in duo or trio in the group Taboo, but then also I hired Sam as a drummer in my bands.
He's got
this
several
band,
bands,
Counterblast,
two big bands.
Okay,
Counterblast,
so
African Jazz Experience.
yeah,
Like this.
okay, so you did a lot. When I met you, I also realized that you know a lot of people, a lot. Also in the chat there is someone writing, Lena Windy, Sam, great art. When will we meet up for a jam? Paul, nice new hairdo.
Oh, that Lena, she played
also,
in Paul's big band.
also, Yorks, my trolley is still rolling. Nice to see you guys, Lena.
Oh, yeah. Tell Lena I said hello.
Yeah. So in music, you know a lot of people. How about art? Did you already connect with someone? Did you have some corporations? In general, I mean, there are a lot of painters and painters.
Oh, yeah.
outside.
You know, it's really funny. Is when I came to Berlin, I met I don't know if you know Bernd Kobelink. He has stuff at the National Gallery. He has stuff at the Metropolitan Museum of Modern Art. He's a very well-known 60s German. He was with Baselitz. All these guys started out together. I know his wife, And so when I started painting and I got my first art show, right? I never hung a show before, right? And I had, I think, my first year and a half, I must have painted like maybe 40 oil paintings. I'm like a maniac, And I didn't know what to show. I didn't, I was still figuring my way out. So I called Christina and I said, hey, Bernd, can you come by? He was a professor at the HTK and also at the Hamburg Art School. I said, can you come by and maybe you can help me put my show together, right? And he's a very busy man, And he came by and I thought he was just going to come by for like an hour, do that like that. And he came down and he came in a really expensive suit, right? Like a British suit. And he was going like this to my painting. What's that? And I go, I don't know. He says, too much toothpaste, right? Too much white paint, right? And then he looked at somebody and he says, oh, I like this and stuff like that. And he go, may I, right? And then he would just get a little paint and do these little things to it. And it actually, I learned that day, right? But he hung with me for about 6 hours. He put my show together, and he's been my mentor. He's been to a lot of my art shows and stuff. And he's like a superstar painter. And so when I told the gallery, then he says, when do you hang the show? And I says, they're going to pick it up tomorrow, and we hang the show tomorrow. He says, tell them I'm coming. Have the technicians ready. So he came to the gallery. When I told him that Koberlink's coming, it's like the Pope coming to your it's like, so, if I say, hey, it's like Michael Jackson or somebody like. So Koberlink came and hung my show, right? Put it together. It was really a big show, and he's just been a great friend and mentor. And also his wife also comes and looks at my work before I send it out and stuff like that. But I met since the time I've always knew a lot of painters in L.A. through Norton, the guy Wisdom that I hang with. That whole scene, I was always around a lot of painters. And in downtown L.A., there was the painting like a squat scene, right? We took over all these old buildings
Can you compare the Berlin art scene and the LA art scene?
They got some wild motherfuckers in LA, in New York. I mean, I think it's a little bit more aggressive scene, and I would say they're a little bit more I will say they're not. It's that chaos theory, right? They're not afraid to try shit, right? I find for me, I don't know all of the Berlin scene, but I find that Berlin, everybody has a real distinct style, right? And
back to the style.
Yeah, they're really boom, boom, boom like this. But in LA, man, you go see there's some crazy motherfuckers there. I mean, this is and a lot of humor. There's a lot of humor in the art, which I really like. I like humor in art, so, and music too. So you got you go and they got a lot of characters here in Berlin. One of the first things that I did when I was first in Berlin, I got with this group called Stan Red Fox, and they were on Kreuzberg. There was these anti-art guys. They called it N-art. They were on Oranian. What's the street in Kreuzberg? Oranienstrasse? Yeah, they had a shop there. It was called End Art. They were, I guess, they were big in the late 70s and early 80s, and they were pretty radical guys. They put wild shit. I think one time I went by their shop, and they had like a pig's head in a
what?
A cut off pig's head in a glass in a fishing bowl. I mean, they had wild stuff, right? And real radical and very political, right? And they did one of my record, the band I was with, they did the record album cover stuff, right?
Okay, but let's go to back to the paintings. I have some questions. Let's talk about painting. You have you got flat paintings and you put structure on it. Why? Why don't just paint on it?
This is a funny thing. What happened was first, when I started painting, I was painting a lot with oil, and I just painted, right, and abstract stuff. And what happened is Norton called me up one time and says, "Have you ever did a collage?" And I said, "No." He says, "Well, you better learn how to do one because I got you in a big Southern California collage show." And when I did that collage show, it kind of gave me a different viewpoint of stuff, right? And then I started fooling around with material on canvas. I used cloth, and then I was taking posters from the street and molding it into stuff like that, and stuff. And I just got hooked up putting stuff on the canvas. And then the last couple of years, I got into this molding the canvas, right? And for me, I kind of found what I like to do, right? I still like to paint. Like my wife, she likes my early oil stuff. She really likes that stuff, right? She doesn't like, she's very honest. She doesn't like everything, which is good. And then I got into, maybe I will go to flat painting again, but right now I'm just kind of, you know how as an artist you get stuck in some place and then you like doing this. So I really like doing this kind of thing like this.
But how did it start? I mean, from collage is also flat.
It's flat, and then Joachim at the Schloss Berlin, he had a gallery there, right? And I already was fooling around making stuff on canvases, right? Even bigger, really big paintings with I like the idea of three-dimensional stuff. And that's what I started doing. I didn't even think about Sculpting. I just made this three-dimensional stuff. And then he gave me a show out there, and I did two big, really big paintings with a lot of stuff on it, three-dimensional, right? So that was kind of like I was just stuck on that. First, what I usually do is that first I paint the canvas, right? At that time, I did the whole background and did it. And then I start sticking stuff on there and to blend in, right? And then I've been doing it a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Can you put your microphone back into place?
Yeah.
Please, thank you.
You know, and then this style that I came up with that came up a couple of years ago. You know, I would say it's still in development. It's getting better. You know.
Okay. Now we have here, for me, two energies that collide. First energy is the very precise glue thing. I mean, it looks like you really think about where to put what, on which high, on which level, I mean. And then you do the painting. So these two actions, they collide for me. Is it like you first bring order to have a base to make chaos, or?
You know, that's really funny. When I do the layout, I wish I could just do a white show because it looks so great, just all of them just white, right? And then to paint each one is it's a process, right? You know, and sometimes I repaint them over again. Right, because I'm not happy with it, and it's a fight. It's really a fight to kind of come up with the right what I want to see on the canvas, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's like you know, and then and some of them I had to repaint them again, right? You know, because it wasn't going in the right direction.
Oh, really? So you do it freely and you see, oh,
No,
that's
you know,
not.
it's like this. Sometimes I have a really fixed attitude, like
Yeah.
these two here, right?
Yeah.
I call it baby pink and baby blue. I had a real set thing of what I wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
I wanted them to be next to each other and both very similar in different colors, but I really knew what I wanted to do with that. And that but I think it was at first I had baby pink and then baby blue. I think I painted 4 times before I was able to match to come up to get they
4
look.
times.
Yeah,
Good one.
baby blue. I struggled with it. I mean, what happened was I ran out of that size canvas, right? And
Why?
and the show was coming up, and I didn't have time to go make another canvas. And I said, and I destroyed like 3 great paintings.
Oh, wow.
And then I said, but I took pictures of them. But then I said I really wanted that size to match with that one. In the
Yeah,
process,
it has to.
painted it 4 times, right?
Right.
Yeah, and
So now you're happy with both.
I'm happy with those.
Okay.
You know.
And what do they express for you? What is the message of them? For you, you don't have to tell if you don't
No,
want to.
it's just that they work together as a unit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, it's pretty similar and with everything. And I was happy that I achieved that with those 2 paintings, right? And you know, I mean, some of the paintings here, you know, I was struggling with too. It was like tough, you know, as you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the material you're using. Sometimes you use paper, I saw.
Well, what happened was this. When I always fooled with paper. I was always fooling with paper and paper off the street or whatever kind of paper I got, and fooling with the material and I have a whole process how I make it, right? And then the new paintings is a new way of I'm doing it, right? I came up with a different system. I try it with canvas now, right? But I'm still it's still a work in process of how I want it to look. And one of the reasons why I'm switching to canvas is because I like painting in oil, and the next series will probably be done in oil. But you know, as you know, oil takes a long time to dry. Oh, yeah. As you know, oil it takes a long time to dry.
It takes a long time.
And but surprisingly, in my studio, it dries pretty quick. But I wouldn't have had time to do oil paintings for this show, you know.
Okay, let's talk about the color. I saw you have mostly unnatural colors used. There's no real color tone you find in nature, you find in our world. You have black, you have red, you've got this blue thing and green, and I don't know. It's like a plastic world for me.
Yeah, you know, I'm really into neon colors.
Yes.
And I like very bright colors, right? I like, you know, a friend of mine said to me that has one of my paintings. Says, "I like this painting because when it darks, it glows in the night." You know what I mean? And I don't know why I like these bright colors, right? They talk to me. I like when I was painting in oil and stuff, I can get a really good stuff, and then with the I make a lot of my own colors with the powders and stuff, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I, you know, I find and then I kind of make them myself, and come up with the color scheme, you know, and I just like these bright colors, you know.
Did you always paint with these colors?
No, you know, my early paintings I would say, were more traditional colors. You know, the normal thing, and then as you mix oils and stuff in different colors, I like oil because you can get such great texture with it, right? But it took me a long time to figure out how to work with acrylic. My first early painting, I couldn't figure this stuff out, you know. You know, and then I'm still learning, you know. I don't know why I like these bright colors, but
Yeah, okay. There's a question. Is Sam making sculptures? Is Sam making
I
sculptures?
actually did. I have about, I did make some small sculptures. Right?
Small.
They're small, and I also, but they're funny little things I made. They're like, it's not like Yakim. It's just with wire and paper. Again, paper I'm working with. Wire, paper, and different material. Again, but they're small. They're like all about like this. They're very small. I got one big one. I did it, and it's like shaped like an elephant's head. I call it Zen elephant, and that's made with wire and styrofoam.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Oh, wait.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
right.
forgot that. That's quite. That's
Yeah, but
bigger.
I did a buddy bear, but that's something already pre-made, and then I had to do a collage on it from the company. It was a real pain in the ass.
Okay. And my next question is about composition and figurative paintings or landscape paintings. You said your father started with landscape paintings.
He liked to do, the typical, farmhouse with the cornfield.
Yeah. Okay, and do we see some of these motifs in your paintings somehow? Someone also said it looks like hills and, water flow. I mean, can it be? Of course it can be. It can be some landscapes, but what do you think? Do you have still these landscapes in mind? In your mind?
No, I tell you, this is a funny question because I have these little figures, like about 5, 6 figures and faces I always draw. And I always start that on the canvas, right? I don't know why. Artists are hooked on certain kind of things. And I just keep on drawing them all through the canvas as I put down the thing, and then it gradually changes. With the different colors, it becomes abstract, right? So I have these 3 or 4 faces I always draw, and bodies, and then funny little dogs and little animals and stuff, and so when I don't have an idea, I just kind of sketch those in with paint. And then gradually do it so much and change it and flip it around and stuff like that. And it's funny thing. Some of the people that know my work, they say, "Oh, I see that little funny thing you always do. It's in there, So it becomes. I do it so much, then it becomes abstract,
Okay, but my question was, is there any landscape in your paintings, in these paintings here?
I don't look at it as so much of landscape as I'm trying to get the material to form in a certain way, right? As a structure that all comes together. It's not like I'm thinking about mountains or anything like that. I'm just trying to. I want these certain things that bend. And have some kind of a structural image, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm thinking about mountains or a field or anything. It's just that I'm fighting with trying to get it so when I it's a pain in the ass of it to paint, but when I get it done, then I really want that to have this that you can look at it and you can see all the folded and crumpled paper or canvas.
Okay. I have I see this blue painting in front of me. Jörg, can you please show the blue painting? For me, these two are a little different. Okay, this on the right, on the left side too. But there I have some real structures, some concentrated points. There, it's like also a little story for me. It could be so many things, or it's moving. it's different to the other ones. Maybe on this side, for me, I see like a monotone pattern. It's more, one surface. There are no fixed points for me. So I think these two have a different quality. What can you tell us something about?
What I did is I don't know how many I did about. I did about.
Sam, can you put back the microphone, please?
Oh.
Yeah, we don't hear you so well.
I did about 6 or 7 monochrome, right? I had an idea to just paint the painting one color, right? Yeah. I didn't even know it was called monochrome. That's how stupid I am. I said I'm just going to paint one turquoise one, one blue one, one white one. I have a red one, a silver one, and that was the concept. I didn't go into thinking anything else, that I just wanted because I never did it before. So I said I'm just going to paint one color. It's still the what you call it, the same structure that I'm working with paper, but just one color, you know. And that was kind of a challenge too, because they were also painted a couple of times because I didn't make enough paint. You made. I said, well, I made a liter of paint, but it was not enough to cover the whole painting. So then I had to make. So I ended up making more, so I didn't run out. You learn by doing, right? So so you want it to be all the same shade, right? You know, you can't have a different color. So that's another thing I learned. I said, if I'm better to have more than not enough, right? And so that was every time I paint something new, I learn something, right? You know. So I said, and so that was a thing that I just wanted to do. Painting is only one color. And
okay, but beside the color, you see what I mean. You have a different composition than on the others to this side. For example, you have this big hill, you have small hill. I call it hills now. I don't know a better word now.
Yeah.
You've got almost flat surface. Jos, can you show please the pen? And on the right side, on the left side, it's more sculptural. It's very different from like these two behind me. They're almost the same height. They don't have so many different qualities.
Yeah.
So why did you do this?
It's really funny. When I lay them out and they're just white, right? And as I'm making it, and I look at it from my studio is big. I can look at it from a very far distance, and I can get up on there, you know. And then when I make it, and then I look at it and I say, okay, I like it, because my paintings I also make them I paint them in 2 ways. You can hang it sideways, or you can. And I always tell the people with my abstracts, when you get sick of it, just flip it. You know, you can just turn it.
You really do this?
Yeah. And I always paint the paintings. On all my paintings, it has B1, the bottom, and B2. Because usually when I paint them, I paint it like this way, and I paint it this way, right? I actually look at it. And so if you turn the painting, then you see a whole different thing, right? Yeah. So as I paint these things, I'm really changing them all the time to see which is the best perspective and stuff like that. So it's not like I just do this stuff. I'm constantly changing it and painting it and hanging it at different angles and going like this, changing it around. And actually this painting, if you flip it around and have it coming like this, it looks like originally how I had it. It looks like a man with a head and 2 arms. If you turn this upside down and this comes to the head, this is like the head, this is the body, and there's like 2 arms that come out.
So you see figures in your painting.
Yeah, I see. I see when I make it. For my eye, I actually see stuff in there.
Okay.
Right? It's like, okay, I see this face and I see that, and then I kind of fool around with that,
Okay.
Yeah. Like if we flipped it around and went the other way, you would see the head, the body, and like 2 arms coming out, a little bit like the alien.
But you do it with all your paintings?
I always, like I said, B1, like this painting, here, it can hang this way. Boom, right?
Yeah.
I painted it. The most of the painting went like this, but I walk. I paint this kind of stuff. I do flat, so I walk all the way around, right? And then as I'm working on it, then I take it off the table when it's dry, and I hang it up, and then I look at it, right, and see what the problems are. And then I look at it, and then I take it off and put it back down and say, oh, I need this section I need to work on a little more and stuff like that. So gradually, it's not like when I used to first start painting, I was always painting like a normal painter, straight on the wall, right? But I've always liked to paint flat, too. And then I was always painting on things. So you look at the stuff and you get that prescription. But I found out that when you paint flat, for this stuff you need to paint flat anyway, and then you go like this, and then when you then I have a ladder, very high ladder, and I get up on the ladder and I look down on it like this, to see the problems. And then I always pick them up and put it over there, right? Because I was hooked on rollers, right? And when I had a gallery in Casablanca, I had to produce a lot of work. So I just, literally in the studio, I just made a big wooden wall and I put canvas all the things so I didn't have to take it off, stapled it. And I literally went down the wall and I had big tables. So I like working with rollers, right?
Okay.
And
okay, thanks, Sam. Let's tell me something about these two paintings. Before we started this live stream, you had a little story, because I said to you, my favorite painting is the one on the left side.
Uh-huh.
What can you tell us about these two paintings that are also a little bit different to the others?
What happened was, like, first I painted that, right? And I was going to destroy that, right? That one. But then I said, well, it's basically finished. And I said, I need to finish.
Talks about the right one, the bigger one.
This one here. I said, basically, it's finished, but I need to finish all these other ones, right? And so that was actually the first painting that finished. And then I wasn't going to even show this because I was running way behind on that. And then I took it and I laid it on the side because it was laying flat, right? And then I went across the room and I climbed up on a big ladder and I looked and this thing stood out so much and I said, I got to finish that, right? They had a lot of problems I had to fix, and I finished that on the Sunday, and you guys came and picked it up on Tuesday. I was like working like mad because I like it too. I did something with this. It's a step forward in a new direction.
Okay, but why did you paint these paintings?
Why did I paint it?
Yeah, why did you paint them?
Because I was thinking about money, and motherfuckers gonna pay me $100,000 for that piece of shit. No,
No, what I want to know is, what is your inspiration? Maybe
for this.
Yeah, for this, for the others. Let's start with this one.
Well, I'll tell you a funny thing. I was living in LA with Norton, and we had a big atelier there, right? And I found a car door, a taxi cab door on the street.
Cab, yellow.
A yellow cab door, right?
Yeah.
And I took it and hung it in the studio, right? Just the door, and I thought it looked good. But then I took a sledgehammer and I beat it. I hit it. I beat it, and I beat it so it had this form like this, right? I smashed in the door, broke out the window, and I always liked the. I don't know why, but I always liked this metal look, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always think about metal because I said, oh, this could be like metal, right? Like crunched up metal and stuff like that. And I just thought it was basically a test, and I was lucky to finish the test. And I'm quite actually happy with this one, And this one was done very fast, and who knows, maybe I will destroy that. I don't know. You know, the thing is,
We'll see.
I have a lot of canvases that I'm not so sure about it, and I want to paint them, and my wife always says, no, don't repaint nothing. You know, don't do that. You know, so, but there's a few things I will repaint. You know. Yeah, right. I have to go to him for the metal, the heavy metal. Yeah.
Okay, I'm almost finished with my questions. Jörgs, do you want to know something from Sam? You always wanted to know. Now he has to answer.
Now he has to answer. Yes. When we make the millions now.
Yeah.
So art is about money, isn't it?
No.
Absolutely not.
No, we are doing stuff because we need to do stuff, not because of anything. Even if we don't have a market, sometimes then we have to do it. That's the point.
Okay, and do we have?
That's why we have a lot of stock.
Okay, yeah.
What?
So,
How much time? How we doing? Anybody else ask any more questions?
Not really. There was one question. Wait. Hey Sam, that's from Tracy DM, actress, comedian, director, writer, producer. She asks, "Hey Sam, who are some of the Berlin-based female singers, performers, artists you have worked with?"
Oh, that's a long list.
Maybe, yeah, he will send you a list.
Well, I just got off the phone with Queen Yana. We were supposed to do a live stream from the Quasimodo, right? And then, I mean, I've worked with so many great singers, you know. Also here, God, I can't. There's tons of them, right? And then also the ones in America. I mean, I work with I just offhand I can't think, but I think of Queen Yana right now because we were supposed to do a live stream, right? So, and I'm not thinking about girl singers right now, but there's quite a few that I work with in Germany and LA and things like that. Seal Turner, she's from Detroit. I was lucky to work with her and do my first tours with her. And we came to Europe. She's in LA still. She's from Detroit. Amazing singer. And her husband, Mike Borman. And then, God, I worked with the Ray Charles singers. Those women were great. And the Elvis Presley girls, the Sweet Inspiration, they were fantastic. And then, I can't think of all the singers, female singers.
So, I think we're performance and film music, so there's a lot of people you worked with.
Yeah. And then me and Joachim, we did a big festival in Kreuzberg, and I wrote like an opera. I had 5 opera. You remember those 5 opera singers? They even flew a diva in from LA to sing this stuff. It was that was a big project, you know. Okay. I can't remember all the names.
Yeah, maybe if you want to know more names, please send me your email address and I will give it to to Sam, and he can send you some more names if you want.
Well, I'll put Paul in the address and then he can go over there and sing for him. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm finished with my questions. Do you want to say something? Additional?
I want to thank everybody for those who looked and those who look in the future for checking out the show. And I want to thank Ralph and you and the Kunstverein and Joachim for all the work. I want to thank Paul for coming in and playing. And I think the show looks great. And this is actually my first live streaming art show.
Cool.
And it's really great that you guys gave me an opportunity to do this, right?
It's really
happy. Cool. You know, it's really funny. My wife was asking me, it's too much to do the music and the art. You know, you should keep it separate. And then I thought about it, right? Because I said it was really stressing for me, right? You know, and I thought about it, and then I said, well, one of the reasons I remember the reason why I wanted to do this. And the reason why I wanted to do this is nobody's ever seen us play live, and I figured this was going out, and that we could play our music and present that too. So I think basically I killed two birds with one stone. I got to show my art, and I get to show the music, right? Shall we play another one?
Yes, of course. But
and that'll be the going out, the closing?
I think, yeah. And before we do this, before you play your last song or two, I don't know how much you want to do.
Just play one.
You just play one. I want to thank you for...
What?
I want to thank you.
Oh.
It's really cool to have your paintings here. I'm really happy that we keep them for a little moment here.
Yeah. He said like it'll be up for a while.
Yeah, it will be up for a while. And if you... not tomorrow. If you want to see these paintings in real, we can make an announcement. Please contact us via our internet page, webpage, l102.art. It's also, I think it's in the YouTube informations here. I want to thank Paul for this intervention, this musical intervention. It's fantastic. I love what you're doing. Of course, I love what you're doing both. Thank you, Yorks, for the camera. Perfect. Thank you, Ralph, for all the preparation. He's also looking at the stream and look if everything's all right.
A question. So our whole show from the stream will be just on the website, or are you going to edit it, or what?
No. It's now directly on the website. You can watch it on YouTube. Again, it's recorded.
Oh, really? So it's going to stay on YouTube?
It stays on YouTube.
Oh, so I can, like, tonight send out the YouTube thing?
Yes, you can do.
Fucking cool.
Yeah, you can prepare your music instrument. Okay.
What was a big change while Corona time? And what is your aim? What is the aim you're going for?
You know, this really fun. I mean, the big change for me in the Corona. You know that the thing is, when the Corona came in, of course, nobody wants to get this stuff like this, and I saw a lot of my friends and everybody broke down because they didn't have opportunities like me, that I have a studio to work and stuff like that, and being that I'm also at this, when the Corona came, I'm very involved politically, and I was really fighting trying to get people to vote against Trump, and went through this whole thing. So I was involved with that. And then, you know, my cousin got Corona, and he died. I know several people that died. But the thing about the Corona time, I think what was very good for me is I was able to stay focused on the things I like to do, the music and the art. And I noticed that also, like, Joachim and us, he didn't get depressed, and he just kept on doing his work. And I noticed all the really strong artists, they didn't fall by the side. They found another way how to work and stuff like that. And I feel so bad for a lot of people that they got depressed and all this stuff like that. And you know, with all everybody with the I think the government made big mistakes, and hopefully that everything opens up soon, you know, and that.
Yes.
What's that?
What you will show us in 30 years.
I will make only coronavirus paintings.
Hopefully not. These are very good.
Yeah.
Okay. For the end, I have to...
We're going to play the last one.
Yeah, but before you do it, I have to say some little words and talk about money.
You say something.
Because the Kunstverein Art, we are doing this for free for the artists, and we are financed by donations. So we hope when it was cool for you, when you liked what we are doing, you see our bank account on the bottom, and we would like to invite you to send some money to finance the next expositions. We always improve our technique, and hope that was cool to see and to follow. And we would be very thankful. So that we could continue these kind of expositions. And now have fun with Sam Johnson and Paul. And I have to read again the name. Schwingenschlögl.